There you are. Yes. You've been very attentive.
There we are. Where have I got to sit?
Begin to get yourself comfortable, ready for the sitting stretches. So if you've got shoes on, take them off. You could keep your socks on if you like. Make yourself comfortable on your chair. If your feet don't meet the ground comfortably, then put something under them. We've got blocks here, but you could put books under your feet. And just take a bit of time to get yourself completely sorted so that you're comfortably sitting with the feet flat on the floor or on a prop. And then start to reach up. We're going to go into either just a vertical upward stretch or leaning back a little if you like. You could be looking forward, you could be looking up. Keep the breath going and notice if there's any difficulty in the breathing with this kind of stretch. Just enjoying that feeling. And then lowering the hands. Come back. We're going to go into a forward bend now. And if it's easy for you to go far forward, you can bring your feet apart first. Otherwise, keep them just hip width. Lean onto the knees. And then if you want to go further, the hands can drop down towards the floor. The head could either be leaning just forward, or if you're not going to be dizzy, you could come right between the feet, between the knees, and let your head hang, feeling the weight through the crown of the head. It depends, what's safe and comfortable for you. Don't feel too compressed, but if it's nice, that can really help to stretch out and relax the back of the body. And then start to come up again, settle yourself back in the centre, and we're going to carry on with the other spinal movements now. We are going to first of all do a twist. So you feel yourself settled with the hips on the chair and the feet on the ground. Move round to one side. The arms can move around the body as you go. And you may find that the feet move, the knees move, the pelvis moves. Just don't worry about that. It's just a natural way to see round to the side and feel the whole body. Just go into that lovely releasing movement of the twist. Come back to the centre. Settle in the centre and then turn to the other side. And just see what you can see around you as you go. So coming back round to the centre, settle in the middle. The last of these movements, we're going to do the side bends. Reach up with one arm. You could look up along the arm, but you don't have to. You could be looking forward. Reach up and then start to draw the arm over the head. Make sure you don't tip off your chair, stay nice and stable, but enjoy that feeling of lengthening as you go over towards that side. And come back to the middle, the arm comes down again. Lift the other arm, reaching up first. You could look up at the arm if you want, or forward and then down as the arm comes over the head. Keep the breath going, sometimes challenging in a side bend. Up again. And bring the arm down to settle. So those are the spinal movements. We're now going to go into the other joint movements, the move all the joints sequence. And we'll work through the body, starting with the toes of the right foot. Notice how it's feeling now, and then the foot could come off the ground or the heel could stay down. And then you breathe in and stretch the toes and breathe out and curl them. You might need to hold on to your knee, like my dad's doing in this bit, or it could be just lifted. Breathe with the movement, getting that lovely stretch through the toes as far as it can go. Ankle stays still. Bring that foot down. And we'll swap over to the left. Same thing, stretching the toes on the in-breath, taking them wide, curling them like making a fist with the toes on the out-breath. Everybody in the video has got their feet lifted, but it would be absolutely fine to have the heel down on the ground any day that you felt it was a little bit tiring for you. All of these give a little bit of strength, as well as this feeling of movement in the joints, and they're also great for circulation. Bring that one down. Lifting the right foot again, and we're going to stretch the ankle, breathing in as we take the toes away and breathing out, bringing them towards you. So I think that's the breath movement that works best for me, but it could go the other way for you. Just back and forward at the ankle, but noticing how you also feel that in the calf, in the foot, in the shin, and that it's a little bit of work as well. Again, the heel could be on the ground and you could be supporting the leg a little bit like my father is here. That foot comes down, switching to the left. Same thing, just back and forward at the ankle, noticing everything else that you feel while that happens, and really enjoying the movement as best you can. And then the left foot comes down again. You can take any kind of pause in between the different sections, but then we're going to come back to the right again. The right foot's going to come up, and this time we're going to make circles with the toes. Just as big as is comfortable for you. If your leg is straight, then that circling feeling will come all the way up through the knee, all the way to the thigh. And if the knee is bent, it'll stay down to the knee. Obviously both directions. Noticing where you feel it and then come down. Switch. You can make the circles bigger or smaller, faster or slower. Just be sure to really enjoy them. Circling in one direction and then the other. And then when it feels about the same as it did on the first side, bringing that foot back down again, just in your own time. If you're not comfortable at this stage, do take a bit of time, maybe another cushion behind you or sitting on another cushion, another book under your feet. Stay comfortable throughout the whole sequence. And then get ready to carry on. We're moving up the body now towards the knees. Pick up the right leg, and for me I would breathe in, straightening the leg, and breathe out, bending it. We're going to do that a few times. What I really like to do is, as I bend the leg, pull it in towards me so it's not just hanging, so that there's a little strength engagement at the end there. Which not everybody in the video is doing, I have to say. But I think pulling it in as you bend it is really useful. And then coming back, switching. Here we go with the left leg. Straightening as far as you can, but don't worry about that. You know, it might not go completely straight. My father's pulling the leg really well under the chair. Breathing in and stretching. Out and bending and pull. Trying to do about the same on each side. We're going to stop here, and then we're going to make some space between the feet for the next 3. And we're going to do a sort of circling at the knee, which doesn't suit everyone. So just see how you feel about this. It might not be for you. You pick up the right leg, the lower leg hangs really relaxed, and then you draw a little circle or a big circle over the ground with the foot swinging. I love this feeling in my knee, but it doesn't suit everyone, as I say. Go in both directions if you're doing it. Just leave it out if you find it's not for you. It might bother your knee, might bother your hip. See how it feels. I love this one, so we do lots of it. And then come to stop there Switch sides. Make sure you've got that space between your knees, otherwise your feet are going to bump. Just a nice loose circle, one direction and the other, supporting the leg under the thigh. Come to stop. Making sure you're comfortable as we get ready for the next one. It's picking up the right leg. Settle yourself again, maybe a bit nearer the front of the chair. And then lift the right leg. Maybe breathe in as you take the leg out to the side, and then out as it comes back and across. I like this little pull across the centre that gets you maybe a little bit into the glutes. But really the breath could go either way. Use both hands to hold the knee if that is helpful for you. Otherwise you can just be holding the right knee with the right hand. Matching the breath with the movement going out to the side and back across to the middle. Put that leg down and get ready to switch. Lifting the left, same thing. Different hip though, so you might be able to do more or less on this side. It might come across further, maybe not so far. Matching the movement with the breath again. Remembering that legs are heavy, and just do as much as is okay for you. And then if you haven't already brought the knee back down, bring it down now. Settle again and then pick the right leg up and start to circle this time at the hip. Again, just as far as it's okay for you. And we will be going in both directions, so whenever you need to, changing directions. Just do the number that is all right for you. See if there's a way you can match the breath with this one. Using the props however's good for you, so you might have a block or book settled under your left foot while you're moving the right hip. And then switching legs. Here we are, circling the left. This is the end of the lower body ones. Just do this again within your own range of motion. This hip might not want to do such a big circle. Make sure you do it in both directions, of course. Finishing this side, and that is the end of the lower body ones. Settle and switch to the upper body. Bringing the hands up, we're going to stretch and then squeeze the fingers. Lengthen and then curl them. Moving with the breath, so I would breathe in while I was stretching and breathe out when I was curling, but it's up to you. And one extra thing that's nice is to sometimes squeeze the thumb with the fingers and sometimes let the thumbs wrap around the fingers. Just two very tiny variations there. Rest the hands for a little bit, just see how they feel. And then the next one is the finger flicking, which is one of the more complicated ones. You're trying to flick each finger out in turn from under the thumb. Up and down the fingers, up and down the hands. Really see what's okay for you. You can do them fast or slow, big or small. And there's another variation, which is that you can flick the thumbs out from under the fingers. All of this gets much easier with practice and is fantastic for awareness in the fingers as well as strength in the hands. See how they feel? And we'll move on to the wrists now, lifting the arms again, just back and forward at the wrists like we did at the ankles. Breathing in one way, breathing out the other way. See if you can spot any differences from side to side. Matching the breath with the movement. And then we can turn straight away to the next one, which is circling at the wrists. Again, of course, we're going to go in both directions, changing whenever you want to and seeing if you can find a way to match breath and movement. Resting. Bring your attention to the elbows. Very often we don't feel much in the elbows. Let's see. Going to lift the arms, breathe in when they're straight. Breathe out, bringing the fingers to the shoulders. Breathe in, straightening. And then some of the time, turn the hands the other way up so that the backs of the hands come to the shoulders as you breathe out. Just see, so for some people that's very much more difficult than bringing their palms to the shoulders. See how it is for you. And how the elbows feel. Resting. One more elbow one. You lift up your right arm, holding it with the left hand, and make a big circle with the lower arm. It's an elbow movement, but it's also going to be quite strongly felt in the shoulder. We think we look rather regal doing this. We think it's a bit like a royal wave. Change sides. You can go fast like Jeremy's doing here, or you can do a much more slow one. See if there's a way to match the breath with the movement. Of course, one way and the other. What do you feel in the elbows now? Let the hands rest. And then finally, we're going to come to the shoulders, best bit. Let the arms hang over the sides of the chair if possible. Really heavy. And then breathing in, lift the shoulders all the way to the ears. And breathing out, let them drop. We often sigh the shoulders down. So most of the breath is done through the nose, but you might want to try a sigh as you let them go. Finally, circling the shoulders by bringing the fingertips to the shoulders and making circles with the elbows as big as you can. Noticing that likely there'll be differences from side to side. And of course, as usual, both directions. And this is the end of the Pavanmuktasana, the move all the joints. At the beginning of this practice, we moved the spine in all its different directions. And now we've moved the major joints around the spine as well. Sit and see how you feel.
Can we remember it all? No.